Thank you.
All right, I want to talk Amanda Serrano. Let's get there, please.
Sure.
I saw your interview with my guy Ak, and there was a lot of talk of you potentially thinking you can come down to 147. Obviously, the lowest we've seen you as a pro is 154 pounds. Ak and Barack did an interview with Jake and Nikisa today on All the Smoke. And Jake was like, yeah, if she can make 147, he would love to do Amanda Serrano versus.
It was a great fight. It was a great competitive fight. I think, and again, I think that Amanda Serrano should have threw a little bit more punches. She looked a little bit flat, just like she did looked it versus Katie said in the second fight. But yeah, in the last 2 rounds, it looked like vintage Amanda Serrano. I think if she would have started off like that, she would have stopped her. But it is
what happens when an absolute legend walks into the ring expecting a comfortable coronation, only to leave battered, bloodied, exhausted, and barely holding on to a razor-thin decision. For Amanda Serrano, what should have been a historic night of celebration quickly transformed into a brutal test of survival, as every round became a fight for control, momentum, and ultimately her place in the spotlight. Instead of delivering the dominant performance many expected, Serrano found herself pushed to the limit, forced to endure punishment while desperately trying to secure the victory. And while the fight was unfolding inside the ring, Claressa Shields was watching from the shadows, ready to tear the entire performance apart. Shields saw an opportunity to question Serrano's dominance, expose the weaknesses that appeared during the battle, and make sure the boxing world heard exactly what she thought about the controversial performance. What was supposed to be a glorious coronation suddenly became a night filled with pressure, criticism, and unanswered questions, setting the stage for an even bigger confrontation outside the ropes.
Talk to him. Tell him about the war. Here we go. Tell him about the war.
Listen.
Come on.
Female TDE.
Yep.
Male TDE.
Let's go.
19 and 0.
Come on.
50 and 0.
Come on. Let's go.
Perfect.
Come on. Come on. Michigan. Hell of a trainer. Hell of a trainer right here.
Oh,
hell of a trainer.
John
David Jackson. Come on. Hell of a trainer. Hell of a trainer.
And hold on, I want to say something. I don't mean no. I do. The best fighters come from Michigan, man.
Okay. You know what they say? When they say from what they say the best fighters come from the Midwest. That's what they say. True. I'm not knocking or hating anyone. I'm only going by what Uncle Roger said. Right. I'm only going by. They don't know shit about boxing.
They don't.
That's what he said.
The stage was set for what promised to be a record-breaking night in California, with Amanda Serrano stepping into the ring chasing her historic 50th professional victory. But this night was about far more than simply adding another win to her already legendary record. Serrano was also hunting for her 33rd knockout, a victory that would allow her to break Christy Martin's all-time knockout record and further cement her reputation as the undisputed knockout queen of women's boxing. Standing across from her was Argentine challenger Lucrecia Anabella Mansour, a fighter who entered the contest as a massive betting underdog and was widely expected to have little chance against the decorated champion. From the outside, Mansour appeared to have been brought in as the perfect opponent for Serrano's highlight reel, someone expected to absorb the punishment and become another impressive name on Serrano's growing list of stoppage victories. But Mansour clearly had no intention of following that script. She arrived in California determined to prove that the odds, the predictions, and the expectations surrounding this fight meant absolutely nothing once the opening bell rang. What looked like a straightforward coronation on paper was about to become something far more complicated, dangerous, and unforgettable.
Special defended her titles. I think the show had a little bit of everything. Had upsets, had wars, had knockouts. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Sure.
From the opening bell, the expected blowout disappeared almost instantly, as the fight took a dramatic turn that nobody inside the arena could have predicted. Instead of folding under Amanda Serrano's relentless southpaw pressure, Mansour stood her ground in the pocket, refused to retreat, and fired back with serious venom whenever Serrano tried to take control. The Argentine challenger was not fighting like a nervous underdog. She was fighting with confidence, courage, and a willingness to trade shots with one of the most dangerous punchers in women's boxing. By the middle rounds, Mansour was landing power punches at a higher percentage than the champion, forcing Serrano to rethink her entire approach and fight with far more caution than expected. Serrano was getting caught clean, visibly marked up, and repeatedly pushed into uncomfortable exchanges where every mistake carried real consequences. The knockout that once seemed like the obvious goal suddenly became secondary, as Serrano was forced to abandon the aggressive finish and focus on protecting her belts and surviving the relentless challenge in front of her. What was supposed to be another dominant performance turned into a grueling 12-round dogfight, with both fighters battling through exhaustion and punishment. By the final bell, the champion looked shockingly vulnerable, battered but still standing as the unified featherweight champion of the world.
And still, featherweight unified champion of the world, Amanda Serrano beat Mansour in a majority decision. Amanda Serrano truly needed to get those last championship rounds so she could win the fight. It was a very close fight leading to the championship rounds. Amanda Serrano bite down on her mouthpiece and she won those rounds. She didn't get the 33 knockouts to break the record for the most knockout in women's boxing history. She's still tied with Christy Martin. She still got the record, but she didn't get the record this time around. Probably she get another fight in December or January. Mansour was very, very tough. She did win several of those early rounds, but then in the championship rounds, Amanda Serrano did win those rounds in a majority decision. One judge had it 114-114 a draw. The two other judges had it 116-112. It was a very good matchup. It was very competitive. I think Amanda Serrano should have thrown a little bit more punches. She was throwing the 1-2 too much. I think she should have made some adjustments. Mansour didn't make adjustments in the championship rounds. I think that Amanda Serrano did hurt her in the body. Was a couple of body shots in the championship rounds. If Mansour would have kept the same pace in the 11th and 12th round, probably she would have came up with a victory. But Amanda Serrano did capture those last two rounds that got her the victory. The majority.
When the final bell finally sounded, the arena was filled with stunned silence, nervous tension, and disbelief as everyone waited to hear the judge's verdict. After 12 grueling rounds, Amanda Serrano had survived a fight that was far more difficult and competitive than anyone had expected before the opening bell. She ultimately escaped with a majority decision victory, allowing her to retain her titles despite the relentless challenge she had faced throughout the night. The official scorecards revealed just how closely contested the battle had become, with two judges scoring the fight 116-112 in Serrano's favor, while the third judge saw the contest completely differently and scored it an even 114-114 draw. The numbers confirmed that this was anything but the easy coronation many had predicted, leaving fans with plenty to debate after the final bell.
Jeez. Listen, it was simply an honor, pleasure. Thank you everybody for coming out. I am so happy and honored that was the first championship main event fight on TikTok, guys. Super excited, super honored. But listen, this girl, I knew she was tough. She's young. She's 27. She's 10 years younger than me. These girls are getting younger, stronger. Thank God I'm almost out of the game. Let them have fun. But it was truly an honor to be there with a tough young fighter. She was hungry, and I knew that coming into training, I trained really hard because I knew it was an opportunity for her. And I was told every time I'm given an opportunity, you seize that opportunity. And I know all these girls who fighting me, they're doing the same thing. So I had to come with my A game. I hit her hard. I hurt my hand. Yeah, fuerte. She's pretty strong, but listen, what's next for me? We still got that 33 knockout. I got one more fight. If I don't get it, listen, I'm glad that I tried with Christy Martin, and she's probably happy for me too that I didn't make it. But I got the 50th win. That's a milestone on its own. It's a lot of fights. A lot of.
Analysts sitting ringside immediately began raising serious eyebrows, as the unexpected competitiveness of the fight left plenty of questions surrounding Serrano's performance. Pundits pointed out that Mansour had exposed some serious cracks in Serrano's armor, showing that the champion could be pressured, caught, and pushed into difficult exchanges far more effectively than many had expected. Meanwhile, fellow fighters took to social media to share their reactions, with several suggesting that Father Time might finally be starting to catch up with the 7-division champion. For years, Serrano had been viewed as one of the most durable and dangerous fighters in the sport, but this performance gave critics a reason to wonder whether the wear and tear of an extraordinary career was finally beginning to show. Several boxing commentators went even further, arguing that the judge who scored the fight as a draw may have been much closer to the reality of what happened inside the ring than the two judges who awarded Serrano much wider 116-112 victories.
Fight or a farewell fight, like a Katie Taylor is going to be fighting September 5th in a farewell fight. Amanda Serrano got one more fight to go, or a couple of more fights to go. I believe, to be honest, in my opinion, I think Amanda Serrano, MVP, get the Alicia Baumgartner fight. You know what I'm saying? Get that money on the table, put that money on the table, and get that fight, You know what I'm saying? Amanda Serrano. In the later rounds, she looked it sharp, but early on, she did look it flat. Should have thrown a little bit more punches. I think she made it a little bit harder on herself. She didn't look as sharp as she was. Maybe, you know, a lot of media work. You know what I'm saying? She did promote the fight. You know, and maybe that takes a lot of energy. But Amanda Serrano still got, you know, she still got an opportunity to break the record, and I think she will break the record. This time, you got to give a lot of credit to Mansour, not being a victim to the record. But yeah, it was a great fight. It was a great competitive fight. I think, and again, I think that Amanda Serrano should have threw a little bit more punches. She looked a little bit flat, just like she did looked it versus Katie said in the second fight. But yeah, in the last 2 rounds, it looked like vintage Amanda Serrano. I think if she would have started off like that, she would have stopped her. But it is.
That was all Claressa Shields needed to see. The self-proclaimed GWOAT did not hesitate for even a single second before jumping online and openly clowning Serrano's performance. Shields laughed off the champion's struggle against a virtually unknown challenger, mocking the idea that Serrano still belongs at the very top of the pound-for-pound mountain. Instead of giving Serrano credit for surviving a difficult fight, Shields focused on the weaknesses that had been exposed and used the performance as another opportunity to question her rival's standing in the sport. She also took direct shots at Serrano's training camp and promotional team, making it clear that her criticism was aimed at much more than what happened inside the ring that night. Then came the now viral zinger that sent the boxing world buzzing, with Shields suggesting that hanging around with losers had apparently become contagious. The brutal remark instantly added more fuel to an already heated rivalry, turning Serrano's hard-fought victory into another chapter in the ongoing verbal war between 2 of women's boxing's biggest stars.
Here we go. Tell them about the war.
Listen.
Come on.
Female TVE.
Yep.
Male TVE.
Let's go.
19 and 0.
Come on.
50 and 0.
Come on.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Come on. Come on.
Michigan. Hell of a trainer right here.
Oh,
Hell of a
yes.
trainer.
John David Jackson.
Come on.
Hell of a trainer.
And hold on, I want to say something. I don't mean no, I do. The best fighters come from Michigan, man.
Okay.
Yeah, what you say?
How would you
You know what they say? When they say from what they say the best fighters come from the Midwest. That's what they say.
True.
I'm not knocking or hating anyone. I'm only going by what Roger said.
Right.
I'm only going by. They don't know shit about boxing.
They don't.
That's what he said.
They don't know. If I ain't the greatest, you don't know shit about boxing.
Okay.
I'm the wolf.
We already know.
You know your boy Mayweather shit though.
Best rappers come from New York.
No doubt. No doubt.
The soda, crazy soda.
16,000.
Crazy.
Over 16,000 plus in the building for your girl.
Sold out.
And I'm talking about
I know them was supposed to be 18. I know them.
That's a fact.
I mean, because
There was some extra people in there. There was some extra people in there.
They wouldn't even sit down.
They wasn't even letting people in when we showed up. Come on. Come on.
You sold it out.
Come on.
You sold it out. Well, I knew that though because Atlanta loves black excellence, and what am I? Black excellence.
Black excellence. Black excellence.
That was a good
Facts.
time.
For Shields, watching her rival struggle against such an unheralded and largely unknown opponent was more than just an entertaining moment. It was clear evidence, in her eyes, that the massive hype surrounding Serrano had finally grown far beyond what she was actually able to deliver inside the ring. To Shields, the performance showed that the public image, promotion, and expectations surrounding Serrano had officially outpaced the in-ring reality, creating a growing gap between the champion's reputation and what she could truly produce when faced with a determined opponent.
Bigger than Amanda Serrano. Yes, I've said it. Y'all know I be hating on Claressa. She's bigger than Amanda Serrano right now.
I don't know that you could be bigger than someone and that person lives rent free in your head. How? If you bigger, like why you giving her so much attention?
Who? Amanda?
I feel like Claressa always got something to say about Amanda. If you bigger,
Well, you know that's the ego. You know that's the.
But again, if you bigger, how is someone smaller than you on your mind?
That's the competition angle. And that's like
What competition? We never was in the same weight class. There is no competition.
They still pit women against each. Come, bro. It's Claressa Shields. She's still a narcissist, bro. Like she don't want nobody else to get props but her.
I don't know, man. I don't even know that Claressa ever sold the amount of tickets to Serrano. And I know what y'all gonna do is hate on Serrano and say, "Oh, that was Katie Taylor." Somehow Katie sold those tickets.
This explosive reaction instantly reignited the fantasy matchup debate that has fascinated combat sports fans for years, bringing one impossible question back into the spotlight once again. What would actually happen if Claressa Shields and Amanda Serrano ever shared the same ring? On paper, the physical realities of such a matchup make it almost impossible to sanction, with a massive difference in size and weight separating the two champions. Shields has established herself across the heavier divisions, competing from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight, while Serrano built her remarkable legacy by conquering 7 different weight divisions, moving from super flyweight up to light welterweight. The size gap alone makes a real-world meeting extremely difficult to imagine, especially under normal boxing rules and weight class restrictions. But if we throw those limitations out the window and imagine a mythical pound-for-pound showdown between these two elite champions, the stylistic contrast becomes absolutely explosive. Shields brings her size, physical strength, technical control, and experience against bigger opponents, while Serrano brings her speed, power, movement, aggression, and proven ability to adapt across multiple divisions. Put those completely different skill sets together in one ring, and the result becomes the kind of dream fight that could dominate boxing conversations for years.
For Katie Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you like this. When Amanda Serrano fought Katie Taylor the first time in Madison Square Garden in April 2022, it was the same day that that Top Rank, in which I was doing content protesting against Top Rank and the other people in the community, because I'm saying, why wouldn't the business of boxing, get in the way of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor? Because a fight that they put up was Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, and most of the boxing world, 80% of the boxing world, was paying attention to that fight in the other side of the United States, in Vegas, in California, I believe in Vegas, I think it was. I didn't go to that fight. I didn't promote that fight because women, in my opinion, I believe that Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, women boxing needed the undivided attention. And there was a lot of people in the boxing industry that didn't give a damn about that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give a damn about that. And that was sad. But I was one of the few to support. And I didn't give a damn about the Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, because I believe that in the sport of boxing, it's just like there's a big fight with Canelo. A lot of people ain't going to put an event when Canelo Alvarez is fighting. A lot of people not going to put an event when Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury. You think when Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fights, you think another boxing promoter is going to put another show? No. It's almost like the Super Bowl. Even the NBA doesn't play. Even there's other sport industry that leaves the Super Bowl be the Super Bowl. And guess what? For women boxing, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor were the Super Bowl. But again, they didn't get the support.
Picture how this dream clash of titans could unfold once the opening bell rings. Serrano is a relentless pressure machine who thrives on constantly moving forward, overwhelming opponents with high-volume combinations, forcing them to fight at an uncomfortable pace, and gradually wearing down their confidence and will to resist. She excels when she can close the distance, trap an opponent in exchanges, and unleash punches in bunches before they have time to reset. Shields, on the other hand, is an Olympic-caliber defensive mastermind, equipped with blinding hand speed, sharp counterpunching precision, intelligent movement, and supreme ring generalship. If Serrano showed clear signs of slowing down and repeatedly getting tagged by Mansour's straight punches, analysts could argue that a pure technician like Shields would have the tools to pick her apart from long range throughout the entire fight. Shields' ability to control the tempo, dictate where the exchanges happen, and disrupt Serrano's rhythm could potentially neutralize the pressure fighter's aggressive style. Instead of allowing Serrano to turn the bout into a chaotic brawl, Shields could keep the fight at her preferred distance, constantly changing the pace while landing clean counters whenever Serrano attempted to close the gap. That could transform this dream matchup into a fascinating masterclass in distance management, timing, precision, and tactical control.
Saying was views, okay? The most views on women boxing, and it's true. He's not saying Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano was the biggest women's main event ever. He's saying it's the most viewed, the most eyes on a women's boxing match. And it's true. I mean, by the numbers, it's true. That's the most eyes that's been on a women's boxing match. And I understand what you're saying, Claressa, but I think this is a time to celebrate more than anything. And to be real, I think you're kind of discrediting the event, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Because I'm going to keep it real. And this is the point that I've been trying to make that many people aren't making, but this is a perfect time to do so. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano brought legitimacy to the event. Let's keep it real. No, let's keep it real, because we saw the first fight, Madison Square Garden, selling it out. It was a war. Jake Paul versus Iron Mike Tyson brought a lot of interest from the casuals. But us pugilists, there was a lot of you guys, boxing fans, that was like, get that spectacle out of here. Get that shit out of here. It was Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano that...
So, fighters and respected voices from across the sport began weighing in on the entire spectacle, with opinions quickly splitting into two very different camps. Some came to Serrano's defense, arguing that reaching 50 professional victories over nearly 2 decades inside the squared circle is an extraordinary accomplishment that deserves respect, regardless of one difficult night. In their view, even an elite champion can have an off night, especially after such a long and demanding career filled with high-level competition, brutal training camps, and countless rounds of punishment. They believed Serrano's overall body of work should not be judged entirely by one performance. Others, however, sided firmly with Shields, arguing that expectations change when you are competing under the brightest lights with major titles, enormous paydays, and a massive global audience watching every punch. From that perspective, struggling to scrape past a massive underdog was not simply an off night. It was a glaring red flag that deserved serious attention. The debate quickly became less about one scorecard and more about whether Serrano's performance revealed genuine signs of decline or was simply a temporary setback from an otherwise legendary career.
Any weight class, even if I was to make 140 or 147, Amanda Serrano already said it when her coach Jordan said something about, oh, he's willing to make the fight with me. And then Amanda Serrano made her tweet and said she doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and she's not fighting higher than 140.
Thank you.
And I'll be there watching, as I'm always supporting the women. I'm always watching. You know, MVP got that little beef or whatever with me. They got all this bullshit. But at the end of the day, I've been supporting women way before Jake Paul ass came around. 100%.
If you've been following women's boxing, correct me. I do this, I did that, I do this, I did that. When Amanda Serrano was the person that did this, we should do this, and we could do that, and we should do this for equality. And we should... When Amanda Serrano left her WBC title because they didn't want to sanction 3-minute rounds, and she took a stance, right? And she vacated her WBC title because the WBC was against the 3-minute rounds for women, and while Amanda Serrano was fighting for equality. Did you drop your, did you say, you know what, Amanda Serrano, I'm dropping, I'm Claressa Shields, and I'm going to take a stand with you, and I'm going to drop my WBC belt? Did you do that? No, you didn't. You know who else did that? Alicia Baumgartner did. And that's when I know that Alicia Baumgartner has all the ingredients to be done when Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor leave, that she could take over, because she played the part of not thinking about only herself, but everybody else. Alicia Baumgartner currently is not technically the undisputed at super featherweight, because she took a stance for the other women around the women, because she took a stance for women's boxing.
Amanda Serrano walked away with her 50th professional victory and managed to keep her world titles firmly intact, but the aura of invincibility surrounding one of boxing's greatest champions took a devastating hit. In a sport where perception can be almost as important as the official record, one shaky and vulnerable performance can quickly erase years of dominance in the eyes of the champion's fiercest rivals and harshest critics. Serrano still got the win, still held onto her titles, and still added another historic milestone to an extraordinary career, but the questions surrounding her performance may linger long after the celebration fades. Did we simply witness an uncharacteristically bad night at the office, the kind of difficult performance that every great fighter eventually experiences? Or has the clock officially started ticking on one of boxing's greatest pioneers, signaling that Father Time may finally be catching up? That question is now hanging over Serrano's future, and only her next performance can truly provide the answer. So, that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming boxing videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.